Okay, now, please, on today's assignment, your assignment is only going to be 5 problems. I'm going to cut some off, okay? But I'm not going to tell you which ones they are until we're done here. You will need to remember how to solve these by graphing. You're also going to have some where you're not going to graph and there's a variable by itself. You'll use the substitution method. And then you're going to have some where there's no variable by itself, so you are going to be using the elimination method. Okay, so obviously the first one's graphing, okay? Well, you graph the lines using either this or this. Then you mark the point where they cross, that's X, that's Y. It's pretty easy. So we're going to take this bad boy first, Y equals negative 3X plus 2, and we're not going to do anything down here. That's just how I have my graph paper. And then we're going to write the second one, y equals 2x minus 3. And I'm solving for x, and I'm solving for y. Y is by itself. That makes this in slope-intercept form, so we can just use 0, 1, and 2. There's no fractions, so it's just multiples of 1. You can also use slope y-intercept. You'd have negative 3 over 1 and 2. Okay, so negative 3 times 0 plus 2 is 2. Negative 3 times 1 plus 2 is negative 1. And negative 3 times 2 plus 2 is negative 4. So 0, 2. 1, negative 1. 2, negative 4. Okay, take your ruler. You'll need a ruler and make that line as straight as possible. Horrible looking line, but whatever. Okay, now let's go on to the next line. Y is by itself again, so I use the same method. So 2 times 0 minus 3 is negative 3. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 3 is negative 1. Then you get 1. Okay, so 0, negative 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, negative 1. Well, there already happens to be a point here, so I need to circle that. And then 2, 1. Okay, so connect them. And obviously, you already know where they're going to cross because there's already a point right there. So the point where they cross is already circled. So I'm 1 to the right, so X is 1. And then I'm 1 unit down, so Y is negative 1. And that has been solved. I'm going to skip this one. You do the same thing, you just use this. It's the same principle, though, so I'm going to skip it and not waste time in the video. Because the one on the assignment, you're using the 0, 1, 2. Okay, now, solve the system without the graph. Now, you're either going to use substitution or you're going to use elimination. It all depends on if you were able to spot a variable by itself. Well, obviously, I have one by itself. It's the y here, so I'm going to put the S for substitution, and I want to be on this page here. Box the isolated variable, circle the other side. Okay, done deal. Write the other equation. The variable that you box needs to be removed from the equation and replaced with a parentheses. So write your other equation, negative 5x plus 3y equals 51. And what else did it say? That variable in the box needs to get removed. Okay. Widen your parentheses and insert the expression from the other side of the box. So right here, we'll be inserting that into that after we widen it. Now you're going to have matching variables. So negative 5x plus 3, extend it. We're going to insert 10x plus negative 8. Okay, now your variables match. They're both x's. Now we can solve for x. By the way, on all these problems, you got to find an answer for x, answer for y. So you're going to have 30x plus negative 24, and then you have the negative 5x, and that's 51. Okay, here's your equals. The x's are clearly on the same side, so we need to just add 30 to negative 5. That's 25x plus the negative 24, and then 51. Okay, then we keep on rolling. So 25x, and then 51 plus 24 is 75. Then I divide by 25, and x equals 3. Now you plug your solution into the bubble, and that allows you to solve for the other variables. So we're just going to plug 3 into the bubble. Now think about it. If y equals 10 times 3 minus 8, 10 times 3 is 30. 30 minus 8 is 22. Okay, my next problem, solving for x and y. So if I have a variable but isolated, I'm using this. But if there's no variable isolated, I'm going to flip the page and use elimination. Box the isolated variable and circle the other side. Well, I have 2 isolated variables, so we'll just box the first one, circle the other side. Okay, write the other equation. Now, in this other equation, both the x and y have to be covered, otherwise the problem's screwed. The variable you box needs to be removed from the equation and replaced with a parenthesis. So there's my box variable. Replace that. Plus negative 2. Okay, now you're going to widen that parentheses just like you did, and you're going to put 17 plus negative 4y. Don't say that M word when you're widening it and all that. The M word meaning minus. No, it's 17 plus negative 4y. Okay, so this one shakes out a little differently. We got 1y over here. 17 plus negative 4y plus negative 2. Now you have matching y's. Okay, well my y's are on different sides this time, so you need to balance the equation. So you need to add a 4y there to get rid of it, and add a 4y here. So you have 5y, and you don't have anything else, so that allows you to just go ahead and add 17 and negative 2, and that's 15. So divide by 5, and y equals 3. Okay, so we're going to be taking 17 minus 4 times 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12. 17 minus 12 is 5. Okay, that one's a little bit confusing because it just worked out weird. Okay, when I look through these, I don't have a letter by itself, so I need to flip the page over. Substitution's not going to work. We need to use E for elimination. Now let's read through the directions. Check for a common absolute value in front of x or y. Remember, that's a 1. Absolute value of 3 is 3. Absolute value of negative 3 is 3, so we got it. Okay? Now, if I have a common absolute value, I don't need to do anything over here. Okay? Make sure your common absolute value contains 1 positive and 1 negative. Positive, negative, it does. Okay? If it does not, you need to multiply the second equation by negative 1, but it did. Add the equations and solve for your first variable. Okay, so it's time to add. Because I have my common absolute value, one's positive, one's negative, everything's on the up and up. So 3 plus negative 3 is 0. That gets rid of the x's. Then what am I adding? Don't say 1 and 7. It's negative 1 and positive 7. That's 6. So 6y. Then 36. So I divide by 6, and that gives me my first answer. Okay, let's go here and get rid of the y and put 6. So what am I multiplying 6 by? We would be multiplying it by negative 1. So that's going to be negative 6 plus 3x. Then I plus 6 plus 6. So 3x equals 36. Okay, so I divide by 3, and that is 12. Okay, next one. Do you have a letter isolated? Nope, you're staying with elimination. Check for common absolute value in front of x or y. Well, that's 4 and 5. It's not there. That's 3 and 2. It's not there. So we got to employ this method, boom, 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 and we're only going to multiply by positives. So there I have a 5. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. So I'm going to times these all by 5. Absolute value of 4 is 4, so I will be timesing these all by 4, and now I'll have a common absolute value in front of x. So 20x plus, remember, you don't just take 3 times 5, it's negative 3 times 5, and that's negative 15y. Then 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20x. That is not just 2 times 4, it's negative 2 times 4. That's going to be negative 8y. Then negative 11 times 4 is negative 44. Okay, now that's done. Make sure your common absolute value contains one positive and one negative. Well, they're both positive. That ain't going to work, so we need to times the bottom equation. If it does not, you need to multiply the second equation by negative 1. So negative, positive, positive. All it does is change the signs on all 3 of the values. Okay, so now it's time to add. 20 plus negative 20 is 0. That's out. Negative 15 plus 8, negative 7. Then 40 plus 44 is 84. Then we can divide. That gives me negative 12. Okay, now to find x, you go replace y with negative 12. And it ain't as easy as when you got the bubble. I'll admit that. Getting the second answer is not, but it's not hard. So it's equal to 8. So negative 12 gets multiplied by negative 3. That's 36 plus 4x. Minus 36. Minus 36. So 4x, 8 minus 36 is negative 28. That's negative 7. Okay, it's all you. You can get rid of a couple problems here. I don't need you doing them. This and this. I need you to do the graph, find out where they intersect. You got to solve for x and y. I see a letter by itself, so that's the S. I see a letter by itself, that's the S. It tells you how to do it right here. Don't be lazy. You read it if you're not sure. I don't see a letter by itself, that's E. I think I already have the same absolute value though, but they're both positives. I'll let you figure that out. And I don't see a letter by itself, so that's E, and I don't even see a common absolute value. So I'm thinking a boom, boom, boom needs to be used in that one.